Hey guys, this is TheRepoSystems tech team here, getting ready to do our live streaming of the nighttime demo of the LPR Express XD and new LPR Express HD camera system. For those of you that were here this afternoon, thank you very much. For people just joining us this evening, we are not going to go through the whole process of how to hook the system up, but you can go back and watch our other video from this morning or this afternoon, and you can see the steps on hooking up your new camera system. We are going to go ahead, once the LPR system opens up here, we're going to go ahead and run through some plates in this parking lot, show you how it does at nighttime, and then we're going to go through some of the same, features that we went through this afternoon, including we're also going to show you how to pause the cameras or turn off the cameras per se, so you can go from one parking lot to another without building up a lot of 30 days. As you can see now, we're already starting to scan. Turn those down a little bit, and just temporarily mute it. And then we'll go to another parking lot and start it back up, so you can see how starting and stopping the software and everything works, and how everything works on nighttime mode. So I'm going to go ahead and pass this over, and I'm going to start driving, and we will go from there.
Alright guys, just like we saw earlier today, if you were watching, this is our live view screen as you're going through a parking lot. We're just going through a retail place here at a Walmart locally, and we're just going to scan the plates for a second, and I'll kind of go through all of the menu options at the top of our software here. Like I said, right now we're on the live screen. If at any point you did need to go back and look at your historical scans, we do recommend that you stop driving through the lot or wherever you're at, because the history page will constantly update also, and I'll show you that right now. You'll see that this bar over here is going to constantly keep updating with the plates. So if you're wanting to look at the history, it's always best to stop so that the history stops adding as well. The hot list button here is for manually entering plates into your own manual hot list if you needed to do that for any reason. This is also where you'll import the national hot list and your local TheRepoSystems hot list, which there's no reason to do that in the software because the hot list application that we showed you earlier today, and I will minimize this for a second and show you this right here, would also do the same thing. That'll automatically upload any plates that you scan. It'll also download the latest version of the hot list, and that'll automatically add it into the LPR Express XD software. So you won't really need to worry about this page unless you needed to add something manually, a plate that someone called you about that you wanted to throw into the list real quick. You can do that here. If you need to manually check a plate to see if it's in the hot list, you can do that here. If there's a vehicle that's parked behind another vehicle that you can't get a clear shot with the cameras, you can manually type that in here, and then hit check, and if it is actually in the hot list, it'll provide you that information. You can also check on this bottom one, you can also check for a plate in your scanned plate data. So if you've been scanning through an apartment complex and you just wanted to make sure that ABC123 wasn't scanned, you can check that as well using the second search box here, and it'll tell you if there is or if there's not. You'll get this window here. If you do get any hits, you'll get an alert, and you'll hear that as well. Go back to the live screen here for now. Go run a couple more rows here. If seeing as we're in a public shopping area here, if you ever needed to, for some reason, hide anything or mute it, you can mute it using this button up here. That'll mute the sounds from the software. This hide button is going to black out the screen like you're seeing now. The software is still running in the background. To exit out of this stealth mode, you can just hit escape on your keyboard, and it will pop it back up. and I'll do that here in a second, and it'll jump right back up. Now the other thing you can do is you can leave the mute off and go into hide mode, and even though the screen is blacked out, you will still hear the audible tones letting you know that it is still scanning in the background. And again, you just hit escape to exit out of that. So since you guys probably have a pretty good idea of what the sound is, I'm going to go ahead and mute it for now.
Alright, so we kind of hit this parking lot the best way I think we can for the most part. We're going to stop the cameras here in just a second, and then we'll go to another parking lot so we can show you how that works. And try scanning some of the plates in another apartment complex or something like that.
To pause your cameras, if you're driving down the highway, we always recommend you pause your cameras or turn them off. You don't have to physically unhook them. You can do that all in the software. And the reason you would want to do that is so that you can avoid picking up junk data. If you're scanning a plate on the highway at 60 miles an hour or 70 miles an hour, it's not going to be of any value to you. If somebody wanted to purchase that location, that information isn't going to be worth anything, since that vehicle is obviously not going to be at that GPS coordinate again. So the way that you pause your cameras when you're driving in between places, if you're trying to avoid that junk data, is just go to your settings tab, and you'll notice here around this little car image, the check boxes for front left, front right, back right. You can just click on that and uncheck it on each one of those. And then when you go back to the live screen, everything is blanked out. So the cameras are still booted up, the software is still running, but it's not processing any video feeds, so that way you can avoid picking up junk data and things when you're driving on the highway. It also lowers system load on the computer, since it's not having to try and read plates, at 70 miles an hour or any other kind of junk data that you might come across while you're driving. So we're going to drive up here just a block or so, and then we'll turn the cameras back on, and we will scan some more plates here. If you guys do have any questions, you can feel free to ask us in the chat, and we'd be happy to answer those live here, and we'll also respond in the chat window if we need.
So we'll be in an apartment complex here in just a minute. Unfortunately, we weren't actually right next to that or something like that. So wanted to make sure we had a good place where we could really show you how well the system worked. And get in there, like I said, we'll go ahead and get the camera back on. Ironically, this is a very highly congested area, but we weren't next to any kind of apartment complexes. So, but we really want to show you how well it worked in an apartment atmosphere. So here in just a minute, we'll turn it on and we'll go from there. So just as with any of our other LPR systems, at the time we were also offering leasing on these systems as well. So if you be interested in purchasing either our Economy 2 camera system, which is our legacy system, our 2-camera HD system, or our 4-camera HD system, you can contact one of our sales staff, and they'll be more than glad to go over the leasing options, the down payments, monthly payment, terms of lease, and everything like that. Plus, they can also point you in the direction of third-party financing companies and things of that nature. Try to get this where it's very very affordable for you, and you can get to using this to help you, a very useful tool, and help you increase your revenue with your business.
Also, something else to point out is we do welcome any suggestions that you guys might have. If there's a feature that you think might be beneficial to not only your business but maybe others, we do welcome suggestions. We did build this software from the ground up. It is exclusively ours. We've written this specifically for the repossession agents out there like yourselves. So if you do have any suggestions, we're more than willing to listen to those and see if it's something that we might be able to implement in a future release. So please make sure you give us any suggestions that you would like to see. All right, so we're back into an apartment complex here now. So I'm going to go and back into this settings page, and I'm going to turn my cameras back on. It takes just a second longer for the cameras to come back on once you click the checkbox. You'll notice that. That's just because it's resyncing with everything to make sure that the camera's working. Then we'll go back to the live page, and now we're live and we're ready to scan through this complex.
I'm trying to sound back on.
I'm going to turn the sound back on here so you can see or hear how many we're scanning here. You might notice, I don't know if you can tell that from the live stream or not, but the sound almost sounds like it's cutting out. That's kind of by design because it's scanning so many plates so quickly. The sound effect for each scan plate is actually playing over the previous one because it's scanning so quickly. So that you might think that's a little strange, but I mean it's literally scanning that quick, so we had to allow it to do that. Run back to the back of this complex, get the last couple of driveways. This is a smaller complex, but still a decent number of scans in here. Okay, that's a small apartment complex here. Got a couple hundred scans between the Walmart that we were at earlier and this complex here. If you do see over here on the right this live stream, you may have a duplicate or two. We can filter that out even more. There is some advanced settings that we can do, but we would rather make sure that we get as many plate scans as we can. And if you have a duplicate of something, if it's decoded correctly, the same that you see here anyway, that's not going to make any difference as far as the quality of your plates, that you've scanned and the numbers. That's automatically also filtered out as a unique scan inside RepoSystems. So once you do your upload on the hot list, it's going to filter that out anyway based on unique scans or not. So that pretty much concludes it for tonight. We just wanted to show you a brief operation video of it running at night. As earlier, if you've got any questions or are interested in our LPR Express XD system with the either 2 or 4 camera HD cameras, we'd be happy to answer any questions or let you know how we can help you out and provide you another tool for your business. Give us a call anytime at 866-906-0573. We're available Monday through Friday, 9 to 6 Central Standard Time. You can also send us an email at sales@reposystems.com, or for any other information you might need for pricing, you can go to reposystems.com and click on the information link there. If you guys have any other questions, we'd be happy to talk to you, and appreciate you watching tonight.